Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to the Mayhem Show. I just thought I'd give a little shout out to Canada. I don't know why it just came into my head to do it. I don't know why. I've always wanted to learn the "O Canada" song, and I don't even know why. When I was younger, I tried to sing it at some event, and I was like, man, I don't know the "O Canada" song. And then I seen in the chat this morning, John and I think was it Aunt Lindy or somebody that was like, "Hey, I'm from Canada too," and I was like, "Oh, Canada!" I started singing it to myself, so I just grabbed a little clip of "Oh Canada," and I don't know. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. How are you guys doing this morning? Yeah, man. Hopefully everyone's doing good this morning. I feel actually pretty good. I feel like I just woke up. Speaking of which, where's my coffee? Yeah, I feel like I just woke up, but I feel wide awake at the same time. Because usually I get up like at 5, but because Hazley's out of school this week, we've been kind of sleeping in a little bit. But anyways, good morning to all. I feel good, although I feel like I just woke up, but wide awake at the same time. I guess what I'm saying, if I don't get up at 5:30, usually I feel like I'm behind. And I woke up like at 7:30 today. So and I don't feel like I'm behind. I think it's maybe because after our show yesterday, and the whole thing about worrying about stuff that you just don't need to worry about, and about me worrying if I'm good enough or smart enough or quick enough on the snap, that shit's gonna fall apart. I think I'm over that. We'll see if I regress and back into it. You know what I mean? But man, I have a full show. There's Elon's been out there talking about the Epstein files, and he's been making his rounds, and so I have a couple clips of that, and then a couple backstories on a couple people that he's talked about, and man, if they're not on that list, nobody's on the list. Do you know what I mean? Because he was super close to this guy, to these guys, and especially the guy, the ex Barclays boss, CEO Jess Staley. And this guy is in court claiming that he barely even knew Epstein, when in fact there's thousands of emails between the two. If you barely know someone, you're not emailing them. I'm super close friends with a lot of people that I never email, and I guess and vice versa. So that really doesn't mean anything. But if you're emailing somebody, thousands of times, then there's a good chance that you guys are friends. At the very least, you guys are friends. But let's say good morning to some people. Heather, good morning. I know I always can count on you being first up there. Thank you so much. Toby Sprosty, good morning. How are you today? Lacey Silver, good morning. That video was for you and others from Canada this morning. Dinah Creations, how are you? From Quebec. Dinah Creations, you've been in before, or have we emailed? I've been emailing so many people these past few days that all the names are just going to start to kind of mesh into one. Like, man, I know I've heard that. So it's either reading it out loud in the chat, or it's because, I've been returning emails. But good morning to you. Tana Louie from Great Britain. Good morning. How are you today? And everybody, thanks for being members. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Good morning, Aunt Lindy. Good morning, Auntie Monkey Pants. I'm so glad you guys are here. Just saying, good morning from Texas. Just saying, where you at in Texas? I'm a fan of the Midland, Odessa area. And then when it comes to my favorite judges, they're either in Harris County or in Beaumont, Jefferson County. I love both of those spots for court, man. Those guys, they have it on lock down there. Um, they are on the front lines fighting crime. Galen, good morning. How are you today? Good morning, Typer Mama 72. Kathy Wood, good morning. John Lazon, good morning. From Shrubrook. And good morning to Anne from Massachusetts. Catherine J, good morning. My own eyes and ears, good morning to you. Amy, good morning. Allie Starr is here this morning. How are you, Allie Starr? Sid Green, formerly the of the Sex Pistols, Sid Vicious. I wonder if that's I see he's from the UK. I wonder if that's a popular name in the UK, Sid. I've always been a fan of the Sex Pistols since 1978. I've been rocking to the Sex Pistols. Really, I think I went from Kiss, being a huge Kiss fan, right into first gen punk rock, and that was like the Ramones, the Sex Pistols. A lot of people think the Sex Pistols that the Sex Pistols came before the Ramones, and that the Ramones were like the version of the Sex Pistols, but in America. But that is not true. The Sex Pistols, their mentors were the Ramones. Just a little fun fact, a little Cliff Clavin senseless information, and put a 1 in the chat if you guys know who Cliff Clavin is. You guys are smart. It'll be a lot of people. Bill Herrera, good morning. How are you today? Pam Pawar, how are you doing today? Hope you guys are having a good morning. And Gemini Girl 65, good morning. How are you? Debbie Blair, good morning. Ian Wallace, my man, good morning to you. Colette McCoy. Naomi Hales, hail to you and good morning. Silver, say good morning to Catherine J. How are you this morning? We'll give it a little more time for more people to come in. Although, man, 100 people, I'm more than happy with that. That's double of what I expect. Shell W, good morning. How are you? Coffee, says John Lazon. I agree. Cheers. Anna Banana, good morning to you. E5, Momana, Anna. Good morning, James Collins. It was nice speaking to you last night, man. It helped my heart talking to you last night. I just want to let you know that. Caddy Connie and Loudmouth Linda, that would be Caddy Connie and my mom, are here today. Mariana Yarbrough, hello, how are you today? She is just a short 20 feet away. If you guys have any comments, put a C in front of that. This is how it works. Put a C in front of the cut, and I will display it in a comment and respond or contribute. And then if anyone's got a question, just put a big Q, like 3 Qs. Good morning, Victoria. Put 3 Qs in front of it, and I will answer the question if I can. Good morning to Lisa Ayers. How are you this morning? Vixen, good morning. Good morning to you. Nana 2223 is here this morning. And I know we have a Nana of 1, 2, or 3 also somewhere out there in the ethers. SMG Infinity, how are you this morning? To everyone that's emailed me, and if I've replied to you and said that I'm gonna do something, I'm just gonna let you know that I've put a star on those. So when I get a chance, I'll go through those in the order that they've come in, and do whatever I said I was going to do. Call, look up something, text, whatever it is. That's how I'm going to do it. That's all I can do. Yes, we do have the best chat. I've seen a lot of chats, and I mean, if I'm honest, this is the only one I've ever participated in, though. But I've watched a lot of chats, and they are just insanity. Someone told me recently, I mean, I think as little as 12 hours ago, since it is 9:23, that a chat can make or break a channel. I think that's true, because if someone's liking a channel and they're engaging with that channel, and do you know what I mean? And if the chat goes haywire, and the mods can make or break a channel. That's what we talked about. And if that mod is disrespectful or lets them go too far to chase away other people, or they get chased, then the channel could go kaput. Speaking of kaput, did you guys see who's on my shirt? It's a skull of Tupac. And I know you guys are probably like, what does that have to do with kaput? Well, Tupac spelled backwards is kaput. And the only reason why I know that is that I used to have a t-shirt and an old t-shirt line that I used to do. We used to do crazy and outlandish shirts, and we put a picture of Tupac on there, and it just said kaput. I was not a Tupac fan at the time. So yes, it was disrespectful. I later in life did become a Tupac fan. This was the mid 90s when I did that. But rest in peace, Tupac. I see someone who said, hi, Cooler. That must mean Cooler by the Lake is here. I was just thinking about Cooler by the Lake last night, which is crazy. I just felt like I haven't seen Cooler by the Lake in a while. So if you are here, I'm glad you're back. Or not that you left, but are here today. I haven't seen you in a while. Good morning, Vixen. And happy Friday to all. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, man, I need to make a video or something, like a TGIF It's Friday video for us to all enjoy. I will do that. I do have some funny animal stories for a palate cleanser. We're going to need it today. We're talking about Epstein and Elon and all the things. So we will definitely need a palate cleanser at the end of the show today. Whoever came up with that idea, that was a beautiful idea. I'm a cat lover, so I would like to find mostly just cat funny videos. It's really hard to find. I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but it's really hard to find just a compilation of only cats. I just had like a crazy idea. Instead of like an OnlyFans, have an Only Cats, and you could like pay to see people's cats. So they could have like an OnlyFans for their cat, and you could like fall in love with certain kitties, and and pay $5 a month just to watch that kitty. Maybe have like a dedicated webcam, like in a living room that just watches the cat frolic around. I don't know. It could be weird and cool at the same time. I'm just totally brainstorming that idea right now. Sorry. It's Friday, right? I'm just going to blame everything on the day of the week. Oh, man, it's Monday. Oof, man, Mondays are hard. Tuesday, we still got a lot of week ahead of us. Oh, hump day, man. Hump day, we can celebrate. Friday, it's like, man, thank God it's Friday. I'll just blame everything on the day of the week. How about that? You guys like fruit? What do you think of them apples? Okay. I did get a haircut, for those of you who didn't see yesterday or last night. Kind of digging it. I did show a video of me with long hair the other day. I truly had long hair because, first of all, I didn't know if I could grow my hair long still at my age. And it still grew long, thick, and curly. It's crazy. My oldest, she didn't think that I could grow my hair about 5 years ago, because I used to just shave my head. And I didn't know if I could grow my hair, but I surely did. Since they won't release the Epstein list, let's just all assume that All politicians, government officials are all actors and actresses and are on that list. Thank you so much. That's so true. That is so true. I will assume the same. So how is everybody today? Let me know if you got anything going on in your recovery. If there's any issues, maybe put a big R in front of you. You have a milestone, just use RRR, and we will star that on Fridays. I have help doing that, so I won't miss anything. As long as my wife's ADHD doesn't kick in and she gets sidetracked with, I don't know, crocheting or something. But for the most part, we should get. But yeah, if anyone's ever got any milestone, this could be any day, any sobriety milestone. I want to celebrate that. Especially if you're a newcomer, the first 30, 60, 90, I definitely want to celebrate that. That's the hardest time. Then about the 3-year mark, you kind of have a little upset, hopefully not a relapse, but an upset. And then the 5-year mark, that's generally when people, if they're going to go back out, they might go back out for a second, but hopefully their spiritual body's intact, and that relapse can be very short-lived. Why? Because you were convicted. You're convicted of that sin and that relapse. And it's strangely different with alcoholics, I think, than it is with addicts. And and this is the reason why, because the Bible permits drinking and alcohol. And I'm just coming from like a Christian point of view. It permits drinking alcohol. It doesn't permit drunkenness. So a lot of people will be like, well, I just had a beer. It's not a sin. But you might be on probation, or you might have given your word to somebody in your life that you wouldn't drink it again. And those things are sin. Even did you know that if you are on probation from the government and you drink, even if it's just a beer or two, that's actually considered a sin. And this is why, because the God of the Bible suggests that we listen to our government, whoever that did. Then it was the Romans, I guess. But we listen to our government, we obey the government. Not first, we obey God first, but second, that we obey the government. Unless it takes you away from your belief as a Christian. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. So I do believe that's sin. And I didn't come up with that. A pastor told me that because I was like, what do you, it's not a sin. I'm drinking. He's like, but you're on probation. I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's a sin. I'm like, why? Because the government has those restrictions on you. And then he showed me a bunch of scripture. And I was like, dang, it's a sin. Hate sin. Hate sin. But I'm alive today because of it, right? Whatever, many paths to recovery, I say it all the time, whatever it takes, right, to stay sober. Whatever it takes. In my opinion, they're all never going to literally collapse our social. That's a good possibility, Anne from Massachusetts. I know you didn't put a comment on there, but I just happened to see it. Yeah, it's nuts. It very well could. It very well could. So let's get to it. Let's talk about this Jess Staley character. Jess Staley is the former CEO of Barclays. I actually owe Barclays a couple of grand right now. My wife and I got suckered into a timeshare in Vegas. We made an agreement with each other when we went into that timeshare meeting. We are not buying. We are not buying. We're there for the gifts and the free food, and I don't know exactly why we went. Maybe we were just bored and didn't want to spend any money on gambling or anything else. We just went there to move one of her friends there. Her friend D. We moved her friend D, which a lot of you know from Babe's Breakdowns and Breakthroughs. It's a podcast that her and my wife have. And we moved her to Vegas. So anyways, we were there for a few days, and it was our birthdays at the same time. Our birthdays are 4 days apart. So, Rhonda, I'm going to get to questions here in a second. What about cannabis? Is it a sin if it's legal? I wouldn't say it is. I wouldn't say it is. No. I mean, even if it's illegal, well, no, I guess I'd be contradicting what I just said. I guess it's just how much you're convicted of it. Yeah, see, I don't want to like tell people they can't smoke pot, even if it's illegal. So I don't know. I'll have to pray on that one and get back to you on a definitive answer. Just say he's the former CEO of Barclays. It's currently appealing a ban imposed by the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, that prohibits him from holding senior positions in the financial sector. The FCA alleges that Staley misled them about the nature of his relationship with the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Not only convicted, but he convicted himself and unalived himself, supposedly. That's a whole nother show, right? The allegations and FCA findings. The FCA contends that Staley attempted to downplay the closeness of his ties with Epstein, characterizing their relationship as purely professional. However, the evidence suggests a more personal connection, including over 1,200 emails exchanges between the two men. These communications reportedly include discussions about personal matters and confidential business information, such as details about Bernie Madoff. Wow. I wonder what Bernie's old, if he's on that list. Almost have to be, right? Staley's legal team argues that he did not mislead the FCA and maintains that his interactions with Epstein were professional. They assert the FCA's investigation was, let's see if you guys can see this. Yeah, that's all pretty heavy. That's all pretty heavy. I mean, I guess it's all alleged, and we'll find out after they have those hearings. I know we got a lot of viewers from the UK. I'd be interested to know if this is a huge story, or if it's like page 1, or is it page 6? Do you get what I mean? Is it salacious, or is this the deal? If you're from the UK, please let us know that. I would be I'm super interested in that, at least for my own personal stuff. But yeah, that's him. I know I have a picture of old boy.
The guy, the fat dude on the bicycle
that's
suit.
Not it. That's a story we got coming up. Where is it? Here, Barclays boss. Yeah. Oh, I have the same picture. I know. I have a picture of the dude. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, that's Rob. Yeah, you guys can. I think that's him right there. Sorry. I know I shouldn't be saying I think that's him. I had it pulled up. I'm almost positive that's him. So anyway, let's check out what Elon.
Hoffman,
before I get to some questions, let's check out what Elon's talking about. The Epstein list here on the Joe Rogan
Reid
show.
Hoffman, who is a major damn donor.
Oh, that was Reid Hoffman, by the way. That picture that I showed, the Barclays boss, that's Reid Hoffman, not the Barclays boss.
Hoffman, who is a major damn donor. And also an Epstein client.
Sorry, that's so low, guys.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
It's so blatant. It's like
Yes.
so obvious. The SpaceX lawsuit, the Trump stuff, it's so obvious.
Yes. Like known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, powerful politically and very wealthy, are Bill Gates,
Bill Gates,
Bill Clinton, and
Bill
Reid
Clinton, of
Hoffman.
course.
And some others too, but those three. So, why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons. Yeah. But that lawsuit was funded by Reid.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie indeed. Yeah, so Reid Hoffman, who with a little other reading I did, is friends with the Barclays guy too. Reid Hoffman did sorry, I'm just trying to get back to my view. And Jess, we're friends also. But Reid Hoffman had a huge campaign to take down Trump. And I think a lot of those people, George Soros, a lot of them were trying to take him down specifically for that list, and for no other reason. So I think it's very telling. I think Elon was right on the money with that. Yeah, Musk criticized government. Elon Musk's views on competition innovation. He suggests that Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman. He says of course, there's more, but those are the ones I think he can say for sure. Look, he's saying it on the Joe Rogan show. And what do we say? Facts ain't defamation. So I don't think he's worried, not even a little bit, of being sued. So I don't know. Pretty crazy. I think Musk positions himself as kind of a whistleblower against government corruption now, big tech elites and media bias. He frames his actions as part of a larger battle against deep-seated institutional fraud while maintaining his public image as an innovator and free speech advocate. I do think, like, I'm not a super huge, like, I wouldn't, like, say, like, I'm a Musk supporter. At some point, he's going to have to make a choice, though. Is he going to be a part of Doge government, or is he going to be a part of Doge, Tesla, SpaceX? Because, although he is one of the richest men in the world, and that he doesn't need to do that, but if he gets too entwined in, like, the financial stuff of our government, that's a lot of fodder for people to say, like, he's making decisions based on his own for his own shareholders and things like that. People are already saying that, I believe, and I would only say, until he's done exposing all the fraud and corruption, and we make our government a little bit smaller. I don't think it's got to be cut, 2/3. But a little bit smaller would be nice, right? So we can start working on the national debt and things like that. We've all heard the lists of all the Social Security fraud and things like that. And I think anyone who opposes that that coming to light, or that, being exposed to the public, is just too far left to even try to meet the right in the middle. I'm going to stay firmly planted in the center. I really am, because I don't trust anybody left or right. And I never got even into politics until, oddly enough, I turned like 45. I was in prison. I was listening to a lot of talk radio, and that was my entertainment. And then, you decide you have a little skin in the game, just as a citizen. Interesting. And then you start realizing, like I said the other day, that, you know what, these arguments, these have been the same arguments for years and years and years and years. I'm just like, took a glance at the chat, and I seen Pam ask, do you think Elon is an attention seeker? It sure seems that way, right? It sure seems that way. And he had enough, but here's where I like kind of like process it all. I mean, he had plenty of attention to himself before all of this. I don't really think he needed that. I really don't think he needed that. My wife keeps taking down my things I'm putting up, but that's okay. So it and that was me telling her, like, don't do it again, in a nice way. I just appreciate she's helping, for real. So do whatever you want, honey. Do whatever you want. And yeah, there she is. Oh wait, she went back to Pam's. I love her. So anyway, damn it, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, he didn't really need the attention. He could have just came out. I mean, like, look, anytime he made a tweet, this is before he reclaimed Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Whenever he'd make a tweet, the Dow would go up and down to the amount of words he said, what he was saying. It didn't matter. He could just, I think one time, Dogecoin, which is one of his like, what do they call them? Cryptocurrencies. If he just say it was like a post about Doge, and he just put a period and posted that period, people would freak out, speculate. It would go up or down. I unfortunately sold all my Dogecoin at like 10 cents. And I had, I don't know, I think 80,000 Dogecoins, something. It was crazy. I had a lot. But when it got to 10 cents, I was so excited. And I didn't have a lot of money, so I sold out. Now everyone who stayed in, they're looking pretty. It's gonna eventually get, probably up to $1 in the next year or two. And man, $80,000 would have been nice. I think I spent $5 on those 80,000 coins. So it was like a 20,000th of a cent I bought for each coin. Yeah. Because you hear all those stories about the people from Bitcoin that had millions and millions of Bitcoins in the beginning. The guy who bought the pizza for 80,000 Bitcoins, all those crazy stories. And now, Bitcoin stays up there between $60,000 and $100,000. Can you imagine having $80,000 80,000 Bitcoins at, let's just say, at $10,000 a coin? Be nice, man. It'd be nice. Just think of all the things you could do with all that money for good. Just think, I'd be able to afford my lung transplant from all the vaping I do. And I'm not superstitious, so I don't think that that's putting that in the universe at all. Let's get to a couple of comments and questions. Bill Herrera says, to 1,200 emails, they were boys. For sure, Bill. It's good to see you, Bill, too. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you since like I was on the lifeboat and I made a couple comments, or I'd asked, where you're from and stuff. So, man, I'm glad you're here, Bill. question. Who actually has the Epstein file? That would be, what's her name? Pam, Bondi. Is it Pam Bondi? It's our new U.S. attorney. She has access to the Epstein file now. And I think she's great, man. I think she's great. I'm really looking forward to see what she does in that office. Is it office? I know she's not elected. In that appointed chair, his cabinet. I guess it's part of his cabinet. Is it part of his cabinet? No, it's not part of his cabinet. I'm sorry. It's a different arm of our government. The Justice Department. Don't worry, I'll get to it. You know, it might be like, man, what the hell? But I'll get to it. I promise. Pam says the reason why no one ever said anything against Epstein is because he knew everybody's secrets. That's right. That's right. He sure did, Pam. He knew everybody's secrets, and that's why he got to be a creep for as long as he did. I think even if those girls were of age, let's just say those girls were 18 and 19. I still think it's creepy. You know, and some would say, well, when does it not get creepy? I don't know. Isn't the rule half your age plus 9 or something like that? Is where it's not creepy anymore. And that's on both sides. Please, no one do the math of my marriage. But you know, I don't know if me and my wife fall into that. You know, she was well into her 20s when we met and got married. I always say this. I mean, you can tell, like, I'm not your normal 56-year-old guy. You know, I talk differently. I walk differently. I skateboard. And I'm a grandpa. Not a lot of grandpas are out there kick flipping and pop shove it and, you know, skateboarding swimming pools. They just aren't. I do. Not when my back was hurting, but now that I got this lumbar injection, I told my wife the day I felt relief from my lumbar injection, I was like in my office and I took a look over at my skateboard. I was like, ooh, pretty exciting. Where is my skateboard? It's around here somewhere. My skateboard. Here it is. This is my latest board. It's an end racism board. Upside down. I love this board. Of course, it's got the best. And then I got my flower. No skulls for me on my deck. But my next board I'm going to build. Trust me, when we got our taxes, I was like, we were at the skate shop the other day and I was like looking at trucks. Is this Dogtown board? This is an awesome board. I can't wait to put that one together. But I guess back to what I was saying. You know, I'm not your normal grandpa. So, what question was I answering again? What was the question I was answering again? Damn it. Oh, we were talking about age differences, huh? Oh yeah, creepy Epstein and his creepy ass. Mariana Yarber, where did Sam get that kick-ass mug? This was a gift, brother. This was a gift. Yeah. Yep. One of my clients gave it to me as a gift. Man, I'm gonna tell you, tattooing is amazing. And I'll get back to Epstein in a second, but I need to mark on my head Epstein, so I don't forget where I was. Being a tattoo artist is the greatest job because you get the coolest gifts. I got this thing and I broke it. This Thor's hammer. because I just love different religions and things. But look at that Thor's hammer. This is ivory. That was carved out of ivory. Isn't that amazing? But I broke it. Gosh, man. So bummed out. But that was a gift. I just get the coolest things. It's because I'm a reasonable priced guy. You know, I'm not out there charging $500-$600 an hour like some artists are in different cities. They're not doing that here. I guess I would be considered. No, I'm pretty. Ooh, a spider. I'm pretty fairly priced here. I'm not trying to build a mansion from tattooing. It's not that serious. It's not that important. I consider tattooing a luxury item. If you can afford it, go ahead. I used to give away my tattoos. My wife will tell you in the comments right now, she would get so mad because we'd be like, I'd have to work these like 100-hour weeks and we'd go back. Well, like what I gave away like, you know, maybe 6 tattoos or tattooed, you know, someone, you know, if a single mom waitress comes in and she just has her heart set on this tattoo, and, you know, I know she's, you know, barely making ends meet, but she, you know, she's been saving. I'm going to probably do the tattoo for whatever she can afford. And you know what? And it probably came out to, you know, $100 an hour. Who am I to say that, you know, if I can make $100 in an hour, that's amazing. And it sucks that I'm retiring, you know, from that. You know, I was retiring because of my back. Now my back feels better, but I still feel like I need to retire and try to grow this show as big as I can. And then my legal channel, exposing all the Karens and Kevins out there in the world that go to court every day on Zoom, which is super funny, right? Super funny, entertaining. Yeah, and I'll just ride off into the sunset right here with you guys, sipping my badass mug. My health is good, so I figure I got a good 20 years maybe. And my wife probably's head just exploded because usually I say 10 or 5, but you know, I'll keep it real with you guys. I'm hoping I got a good 20 left. That would put me at 76. I've been tattooing for 30 years. 30 years. I was actually tattooing when I worked at Microsoft. But it was on the weekends. It was just on the weekends. And thus I had a big project at Microsoft. I wouldn't tattoo. It was just on friends in my garage, you know. All the guys I skate with, surf with. We would all, you know, tattoo on each other. But when people realized that I was good, I just end up tattooing on everybody. I didn't do it professionally till way later. After I lost my wife to a drunk driving accident, and that's when I started tattooing professionally. Was after that. I never went back to the corporate world. I've shown pictures of me in the corporate world. They're pretty funny. I'll show them again soon because we have so many new people. I actually look like Kramer. I look like Kramer from Seinfeld if he robbed a Banana Republic store. Basically, all I wore back then was Banana Republic. You know, like the chinos and the you know, shirts from the 90s with a big wide tie, big floral wide tie. And then yeah, big floral wide ties. You picture my pager and my badge to get me into different doors at the campus. They call where corporations are, they call those campuses. I'm sure everybody knows that. But I've had to explain that to people. Like, what do you mean you're at a campus? Everyone thinks of school. I know you guys didn't, but out of habit. So yeah, been tattooing a long time. That was a pretty long answer for that question. I could have just said 30 years. Move it along, bud. Keep it moving, Pimp Mobile. What movie is that from? As you guys will see, I will do like movie quotes, and I'll be like, as they come up in conversation, and I'll ask you what those guys are from. Um, something I do. I do it in regular conversation. It drives people nuts. Maybe that's all part of the Casper's the guy that you wouldn't talk to at a party, or you would walk away from at a party. But my charisma and charm just shine through, so people don't walk away. What do you think of them apples? These Asperger's. Truth and Heat. Also, I just want to let you know I'm going to be working on that video this weekend. Hopefully, if my wife permits me to do it, but it's coming. It's coming out, and he knows what I'm talking about. Comment. Pamperar said the reason why no one ever said anything about Epstein is because he knew. I already did that one. Jackie Oju. Comment. Our money should stay here to help our citizens, in my opinion. Agreed. Jackie. Anyone who thinks otherwise, it's un-American. It's un-American. Now I get it. You can have, that's in my opinion. It's un-American. I can't remember who said this. It might have been George Carlin who said this. He was talking about recycling, and I think Reese would enjoy this comment. I think he was talking about recycling, and she would know for sure if he said this or not. And he said, "I don't get it with recycling. Why don't we recycle golf courses and make low income housing for the homeless people?" And that struck me, and I heard that as a kid. And like right when recycling became, recycling wasn't a thing for the longest time. And when people started to recycle, it was like this big thing, this big movement. Everyone was talking about recycling. If you didn't recycle, you were basically a scumbag. Well, first there was like deposits. You would pay a deposit on a bottle or can. A lot of states have that. A lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm here to explain. You would pay a deposit. So like if you bought a 6-pack of Pepsi, you would pay a 10-cent or 5-cent deposit on those bottles. And then when you return those bottles, you would get that money back. And then they would recycle the obvious. But yeah, he said that we should recycle golf courses into low-income housing. That stuck with me for a long time. Now, do I think they should recycle golf courses in low-income? No. But it would not showcase, but it definitely should make us think about all the land that we do have that's not doing anything for low-income housing. Look, there's smarter people than me thinking about all these things, and hopefully that, they are working on to get it figured out. I just have to trust that that's what's happening, and that's where we get to vote and we get to make that decision. Who's talking about the homeless? Well, that's usually the left, but the right is actually usually doing something about it and not like trying to, showcase it to, vote for me. Look what I'm doing. I'm giving away free food, free phones. Remember the Obama phone? All this free stuff. I lived in Long Beach when the Obama phones came out, Long Beach, California. And my tattoo shop in Long Beach was like in the middle of the homeless, where the homeless population was. Everybody down there had a phone. But you know who had 30 of those phones because they would buy them from the homeless? Were drug dealers. Drug dealers had those phones, and they were using those phones as what do you call them? As burner phones that they could do dirt on. Because, if they're being investigated, they have to get the DEA or task force, whatever task force it is, the FBI Safe Streets Task Force, any of those task force have to get warrants for those numbers. They can't just get it for the person and then whatever phone they use. I think they can now because Trump just declared dealers in fentanyl, if you can show probable cause for fentanyl trafficking, dealers or traffickers, that they are considered terrorists. And I love that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that information, please. But I just heard that at the state address, and that's huge. So like in that situation, they don't need a warrant. They don't need a warrant for that person's phone. And I know that's a slippery slope. Where does it stop? Where does it start? And where does it end? Because they can just say, hey, just say they see me, say they're watching a house and I'm at that house and I go over there to get well and I smoke a fentanyl pill. And they see me doing that. Now, because I'm at that house, can they just put unlimited warrants on me because now I'm considered a threat to the country? I don't know. Hopefully they work that out to where no, they can do that, and I'm sure they are. I don't think our representation in DC would let that happen. You know, our senators and governors. I don't think they would let that happen. But the people that oppose it, I'm sure that's what they're saying. Well, like, so what? Now anyone can be watched, listened to. I mean, they do it anyway, right? But they can't use it in court unless they have something like that. Anyways, that's enough of that. Jackie, I'm sorry I digressed so heavily into your answer, but our money should definitely stay here, period. Unless, we went to war. Let's just say we helped somebody in a war, or we started a war, or we went to free a country, and I definitely think we should be a part of rebuilding that country. If our rockets and bombs destroyed structure in that country, we should definitely be a part of rebuilding that country with the infrastructure and the government, right? The problem is when we don't do that, especially the government part. God, I'm feeling super political right now, and that's not even who I am. But I got something to say. Everyone yelling at Elon is crapping their pants. Let's see what Marimel comment. Everyone yelling at Elon is crapping their pants about the whole House of Cards hustle crashing down. In my opinion, yeah, they are. And you know what? There's nothing they can do about it. There really isn't. There's nothing anyone can do about it. Doge is in there, and they're doing what they're doing, and for good or bad, we'll find out in the end if anything bad comes out of them being in there, and we'll find out in the end if Doge did anything that was sleazy. We will. We'll get a new administration in, and they'll want to make the last administration be super shitty, and then the truth will lie somewhere in the middle, right? So that's just the way our country has worked for years and years, right? I mean, that's what Trump's doing now to the last 4 years, and then the 8 years before that. If that was, I know it was Trump, or if the 4 years before that was Trump, and then Obama before that. They try to destroy people's legacies, not destroy them, but bring truth to light. They'll try to destroy Trump's, but too much truth is going to come out where they can't refute it. Pamela said, comment, it's like Elon wants to buy everything and anything. Yeah. It is, but did you guys hear his comment on I can't remember what show it is, but I have the clip somewhere. Actually, I think I have it here right now. Yeah, he's buying everything and anything, and is he the next Antichrist? I don't think anyone's saying that yet. But he says, where is it? Is it this one? Listen to hear what he says about Tesla, and I think this is very telling about where he's coming from.
Also announced that it will double its investment into developing electric cars, and Elon Musk is celebrating.
They just said he's going to double his investment into development of electric cars.
Why do you want the competition?
The whole point of Tesla is to accelerate the advent of electric vehicles and sustainable transport. We're trying to help the environment. We think it's the most serious problem that humanity faces. I'm not sure if you know, but we open sourced our patents, so anyone who wants to use our patents can use them for free.
Did you guys hear that? His patents are all open source. What does that mean? That means if I have an electric car company, I can make a Tesla and slap my name on it, or I can approve on it, because it doesn't say I have to even approve on it. But like if I own GM, I can just take all Tesla's technology and make, Sam's Roadster, or whatever I wanted to make. Now that's super telling. I think he talks about it here. I know I heard it somewhere. It was probably in this clip, but he basically what he wants people to do is to improve on it. Here's what I've come up with. Now you improve on it and make it better for us, for not just the Americans, but for the world population. Make that technology better so we're not having to use so much fuel. And so our environment can be better, so we can breathe fresh air. I don't know how many people have been to LA, and I'm just going to use LA as an example. When I was going to school, there was days that we did not have to go to school. How other states have snow days, where the kids can't go to school? We had smog days, where that means the smog was so thick that it was unsafe for us to go to school and play. Think about that. So I think for mostly that reason alone, that electric cars are great. Hybrid cars are great. Lower emissions in our vehicles is great. Now, did it suck living in LA, having to smog check my car, especially when you buy an old car, like an old vintage car, having to have that thing smogged? It takes away from horsepower. But you had to have it smogged. Any car that drives in LA legally has to have a smog certificate. That means that car can only emit so much emissions from that vehicle for it to be legal to drive in California. I remember when it first happened, everybody hated it. What? And it's true. You can't register your car without a smog certificate. Well, legally, you can. There are, of course, because everyone's got to hustle. I mean, it is Compton, it is Long Beach, it is Wilmington. These are all places that do this, that you can find people. They will hook your car up and say that it passed. Not very good, though. Let's listen to the rest of this. This is pretty telling.
Patents are open source?
Yeah. So if somebody comes and makes a better electric car than Tesla, and it's so much better than ours that we can't sell our cars and we go bankrupt, I still think that's a good thing for the world.
You hear that? He still thinks that's a good thing for the world. I think that's amazing. And I think he truly believes that. So yeah, he wants to buy everything and anything, but he's willing to give it away too. I truly think that. I think if he set his sights on the homeless population or the homelessness, I think he would buy a ton of land, build a bunch of property, and provide, housing for homeless if they wanted it. That's the key thing. Who down there wants it? How did you become homeless in the first place? I've been homeless. I've talked about that recently. Got frostbite on my toes. I was homeless in winter. Got frostbite on my toes. That was just a little while ago. Now look, I got neon signs behind me that say Legal Livewire. Well, initials. I got a little banner above me that says After the Bars. I was just homeless. So what I'm saying is, if people don't want to be homeless, they can work their way out of it. Hopefully, if they have the skills and talent to do so, or the desire. You don't even have to have skills and talent. I'm not even saying I'm skilled and talented, and that's not me being self-deprecating. I'm just saying if they want to leave, they can get out of it. There's programs that I guess what I'm getting at, there's a lot of addiction out there. A lot of people are homeless and they choose homelessness because of addiction, especially in LA, because if you're homeless in LA and you're an addict, you're going to get high for free every single day. It's that cheap. We're that close to the Mexican border. That much drugs is coming across that if I decided I wanted to get high and be homeless, I could go down there and be homeless and get high every single day for free. Every day, all day. That's not an exaggeration. I could show you guys a video stream right now of like a block and a half from where I used to live in downtown LA, down on Skid Row. I didn't live homeless down there. I lived with my brother. He had a loft. Like those places that have a big like elevator door and you walk into your place, like it's a big warehouse. He had a loft down there, and I lived down there with him for a little while. And all around us was homeless, but all around us was drugs and free drugs and people getting high. But there's a stream I could show you guys. Maybe I'll show it on Monday. But it's someone's got a webcam down there, and that's their YouTube channel, and it's just a stream of the homeless, and you see them all handing each other drugs. They're homeless, broke, and they're just all handing each other drugs. Everyone's got pipes, and they're all getting high. It's sad. It's sick. It's sad. But I think if Elon put his mind to it, I think he would. That's what he would do. He would just buy it and give it all away. I believe that in my heart of hearts. Absolutely, truth and he. I was just talking about that with somebody. He's absolutely high functioning Asperger's. I hope I'm getting these questions or comments as they're. I'm just going into my set aside. I think that Elon got involved initially because he has things he wants to accomplish, and then government bull made it impossible for him. He saw the problems and is trying to solve them. Agreed. And from Massachusetts, agreed. Let me get down here to the bottom. SMG Infinity, comment and question. Sam, where's all the energy coming from to charge the electric cars? Not to mention the process of mining for the batteries. What that does to the miners, communities, and the environment. Oh man, that's all super heavy. And I really don't know enough about that to speak on it. But you're right. Like, I would like to know, is he, for all the good that he's doing to get that technology to the world, what is he doing to sustain that technology, right? It's the same thing, right? Are we just spinning circles? I guess we're just spinning circles until until our battery technology gets so good that we can, trap solar energy and store solar energy to power the world, right? I guess that's the next step. But I guess what SMG Infinity might be saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that is electric cars just as bad as gas powered cars? I think some would argue, yeah, just as bad. Just as bad. What does she say here? Not to mention the process of mining for the batteries, right? Because the batteries need to be lithium at the very least. And what does that do to the miners, communities, and environment? Right? I'm at a loss. You've stumped me. Not a hard thing to do, but I'm stumped. Like, I want to be, pro electric cars, and I've never been that. I think this today is the most pro electric car I've ever been. Or these past couple of days, kind of deep diving this subject, but I haven't even gotten to that part. And maybe all that is worse. Like, I would love to see what the communities look like that mine lithium for the batteries, and maybe there's some other battery that we can mine for that's different that I don't even know about. I'm assuming that they're using some type of lithium battery technology. I'm just assuming, but yeah, it's almost too much, right? It's almost too much. It's almost like what they probably wanted to be. Let's just put our blinders on and just move forward and just, spend time with our families as much as we can and make a living as much as we can. We look to the right. Okay, there's an electric car that's supposed to be better for our environment. Okay, I'm going to buy that and drive that and just put our blinders on. Oh, here's this program. Yeah, I'm going to participate in that and give to that. Put our blinders on. We almost have to. I mean, how much can one endure to try to process all this, and to think of solutions for it? I don't know. I think it lies somewhere in the center. If there could be a party that was just called the Centers and they could work on all those things simultaneously, right? Maybe it was irresponsible of Elon to even try to push electric cars forward to this extent without simultaneously working on those things you just mentioned, the miners, the communities, the environment. Was it irresponsible of him to not do that? And maybe he's doing it. I don't know. If he's not, I would say it was irresponsible of him. At some point, come up the technology, build the factory, but now the more and more of those cars hit the road, we're going to have to start worrying about those things, right? But I must say, Theo Vaughn has I seen a thing that Theo Vaughn, what he was talking about. Theo Vaughn's like, I bought this Tesla truck and I keep running out of energy. I can't find a power station. And if I do, I guess there's two types of power stations, just like there's two types of way to charge your phone. There's a fast charge and a slow charge. And he can't find fast chargers anywhere. Maybe one or two, I'm sure Tesla's got like a Google map that has all the different chargers everywhere they are in the country and maybe even the world, where he can fuel up his truck. But I'm telling you, he's having a hard time doing it. He can find lots of slow chargers and sometimes not even that, but he runs out of energy. And so he has to like get his truck towed to a gas station. And if they don't have a charging station at a gas station, look, rural America doesn't have charging stations, yet. I'm talking about Dogpatch, Kentucky. I'm sure they don't have a charge, but they have an outlet. And so what does Tesla have? They have like this thing you can plug into a regular 210 or 220. I could be wrong on that voltage or wattage, whatever it is. Plug it into 210 and plug it into your car. Now that's going to be a slow charge, right? That's going to be a trickle. So if Theo Vaughn runs out of gas, has his car towed to Dogpatch, Kentucky to charge his car, he's going to be sitting there for a day and a half charging up his truck to get to the next, city. I don't know, man. It's all just crazy. But I know I can get my Dodge Ram to the next gas station. So I'm going to stick with the gas power till they get all that figured out, right? They got to get that all figured out or buy a hybrid. But, I don't think Dodge Ram has a hybrid. I'm not totally a Dodge guy. I'm more of a Chevy guy. But it's a funny story, but that would be a digression to the digression. I don't want to get that too far out of whack. Why I bought my Dodge Ram. Galen says, you still need coal to burn to create the power for the chargers. My husband's an electrical engineer, so I get more information than in my head than can hold. Yeah, amazing. I would love to have a conversation with your husband, Galen. And good morning. I'm glad you're here. I don't think I saw you at the beginning. And thank you for all your support. I notice it and I see it. Thank you so much. Galen. I would love to have a conversation with your husband. And not like on YouTube, but just to have that conversation. Yeah, what is going on? Like if you still need coal to burn to create power for the chargers, I mean, what's worse? Drilling for liquid gold, oil, or fracking, or is it coal mining? And didn't coal miners man, that's a whole nother subject. I don't know. I think I just get too far out of whack about it all but I would love to have a conversation with him. So see, it's this, I think until we can get to solar power, we'll just leave it at that. Until we can get to solar power, it's something, there's going to be something bad for it. We just have to weigh out what's worse. And I'm assuming smarter people than me, or not you guys, but then smarter guys than me are working that out. Right? There's just too many lobbyists in DC, to know what's real, because you can pay a lobbyist to say anything. Boho Hobo, hey, how are you today? And I hope I got back to your last email. Question, have you seen the neighborhood in Philly, Kensington, where it's an open heroin fentanyl market? Not only have I seen it, I've been there, right? was just there for a short time, but I've been there. Yeah, it's terrible. It's why does it even exist, right? Why does it even exist? That's kind of what the Skid Row is down in LA. There's a creator called White Belly Underground or something White Belly. He interviews a lot of junkies down everywhere, from Kensington, from Skid Row in LA. AV Stevie here, he's in the chat today. Hey, how's it going, Steve? You can see all the he sees it. Thank you. My wife just brought me a water. Thanks, honey. There's neighborhoods like that probably in every big city, but Philly Kensington is the worst I've ever seen, ever been to. I don't think there's anywhere worse in the country. Maybe second to Portland, downtown, under the bridges, down by the river. Maybe it might be second to that, but I don't think so. Yeah, who lets that happen? Why is that being allowed to happen? You know, is Philly out of money? You know, and isn't Philadelphia the original capital of the United States? I think I'm right about that. I'm not a historian. I think not that need to be a historian to know that, but I'm just saying that like that town should be just, that shouldn't be happening in that town or any town for that matter. But I guess what I'm saying is that isn't there a lot of tax money being paid there to clean up those streets and to maybe get those people into treatment if they want it? You know, that's just where it is. That's what it is, and I'm just now realizing it. They have to be somewhere, right? The addicts that don't want help and that are in their addiction and that are homeless, they have to go somewhere, right? Maybe crack down on the drug dealing that's going down there and the trafficking, and that's happening. Mark my words, that's happening. You're going to see a lot of action. Do you remember when Reagan declared the war on drugs and crack cocaine? It's going to be something like that. People who are the sentencing guidelines are going to change for fentanyl dealers, and those people are going to get a ton of time, and it's going to be disproportionate. The dealers, not the addicts. Before it was the addicts too, but this time the dealers are going to get a ton of time. It's going to be disproportionate to the other drugs that people are dealing, that it's getting a lot of time, and then eventually 20 years from now, all those dealers are going to get out a little bit early from their double life sentences because it wasn't, constitutional. That's going to happen. I won't be alive to see that, but that's going to happen because it happened with the crack laws. When the crack laws got overturned, all those crack dealers, as they should have, had got out early because they were in there for far too long. I mean, 30 and 40 years. People committing murder are getting out with way less time than that. Like way less time. Oh, G-rated conversation. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Comb your hair, Missy.
I have to take 2 more.
2 more already? Okay.
Because it's gonna hurt too much.
Okay. Well, that takes a little time, but
I know.
okay. I love you. She's making you? Okay. I'm gonna wait for her to leave. Bye, honey. We're talking about grown-up stuff. Oh, because we're talking about grown-up stuff, honey.
I don't care.
Okay, you don't care. She doesn't care. Where was I? I know I was talking about murder. Oh yeah, sentencing guidelines. But you know what? Something needs to happen. Let's just overcompensate, and we'll correct it down the road. We have to. Fentanyl's killing people every day. I don't know what the stats are. My ex co-host used to know what those stats are. I don't know what those stats are, but we all know it's bad, right? It's bad. Why is it even happening? It shouldn't be happening. So yeah, I've seen that neighborhood. Mr. Prime. I don't know how these questions or comments are coming in. You're only 30 with 70. Yeah, that's right. Been tattooing since I was 3, hon. Yeah, that's right. You know, it's funny. I got my first tattoo with AV Stevie. That's in the chat, and we haven't seen each other since I think 89 or 90. That's the last time him and I had seen each other. This cat right here, he just said, I just did a job walk at SpaceX in Hawthorne. Hawthorne's in Southern California. It's called the South Bay Area. And Hawthorne wasn't allowed to take pictures, but walked past all the engines, Raptor engines and Merlin engines. It was wild. Wow, that is wild, man. First of all, I didn't know there was a SpaceX. You know, I bet you, rest in peace, Steve, your dad, Greg, his dad was a super smart guy. I bet you he would have worked at SpaceX in some capacity. Because before he worked for the airline, didn't he work like at Hughes or something? I can't remember. I think he worked at Hughes. I can't remember. I might be thinking of another friend's dad. But man, hey, I'm glad you're here, Steve. A lot's happened since I've seen you. I'll text you. I mean, I can't put that comment up, but okay, I will. My wife says, baby, you don't have to apologize for having a big heart. You are kind, and that's okay. The world needs to be more kind. Thanks, hon. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's someone who knows me well. She's seen the ugly, but it's never been violent or physical. Not even close. Have I even ever thrown anything? Honey, have I ever thrown anything when we were arguing? Not like at you, but just like out of frustration. I'm curious to know that. Anna Banana says, oh, she says no. Right when I hit Anna Banana's comment, she said no. Okay, thanks, hon. Anna Banana says, comment, I thought Christ gave the Great Commission not only to Peter, but to all his disciples to care for the fellow man. Why would that just be Americans? Oh, I don't know. Did I say that? Or is that what people are saying, or Christians? Are Christians saying that? Thinking of that, and I'm not avoiding that comment, but thinking that I have a badass hoodie that says the commission, and it's got a big cross on the back. Anyway, I thought Christ gave the Great Commission not only to Peter, but to all the disciples to care for the fellow man. Why would that be just Americans? I don't think it's just Americans. And if I've said anything that could be inferred, or if I had a comment that people were able to infer that was what I meant, I apologize. That's not what I mean at all. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just curious. Thanks for the comment, though. I would not want to say that. And I guess if I'm thinking about it, maybe you're saying that mostly Americans are Christians and that we push Christianity more, or that more of the world are other religions other than Christian. I don't know. Let me know what you mean, Anna Banana. Bill Herrera has a comment. I wish Elon would buy the big red button. Man. Well, let me get back to that. I just want to get to a couple other questions. I definitely want to get back to that. Please, I want to restart that. So I don't forget. Okay, thanks. Comment, love my Tesla Model X, and I drive it all over the West Coast, and I get 350 miles on one charge. Yeah. See, you live on the West Coast, and I feel like you're safe if you live on the West Coast, or even like the Midwest, or like not the Midwest, but like, anywhere from like Arizona over. I think you're pretty safe to drive your electric car, and you are never going to run out of a charge. And if you do, there's going to be a fast charge somewhere. 350 miles on one charge. That's pretty effing good. But like SMG Infinity was saying, if we play the tape backwards to where that energy, that charge came from, that 350 miles, what does it equal to? And all the things, right? All the damage to communities, to people who make everything to provide that charge. But man, I wish I had a Tesla Model X. I do. I was going to rent one, and I went to Tampa Bay to be interviewed for a podcast, and I was in Florida, and I needed to rent a car, and I was going to rent one. And now I wish I would have. It would have been so much easier. I ended up not renting it, and it was actually cheaper than the car I rented. It wasn't because of that. It was just because there wasn't one available on the day I was going to be in Tampa, or the 3 days I was going to be in Tampa. So I had to rent another car, and the rental car situation there is crazy because, most people, or a lot of people, most people probably do have credit cards, but I don't have a credit card right now. I stopped using credit because I was running credit cards up and wasn't able to keep up with the payments. So once I decided to cut those up and to not use credit anymore, and I have a credit card I can use, but I didn't have it with me. But anyways, I don't use credit. I just use my debit card to my checking account, like a lot of us do. And they wouldn't accept that to be put down for the car. Unless, wink, wink, the little guy helping me, he was a Puerto Rican dude. He had a lot of snap. He tattoos all over him. So he seen I had tattoos all over me, and he kind of gave me the old wink, wink and secret handshake. And I slipped him an extra $100 cash, and he let me rent the car. He probably regrets doing that now because I was running late for the plane. The line was big at the rental car agency, so I had to leave the car in long-term parking and send them a message, say, hey, you got to go pick up your car in long-term parking. So he probably regrets that. But I got my deposit back, which was crazy. I don't know if I ever tell my wife that. Yeah, I had to leave a $250 deposit for the car. I got that refunded. And I left my car at long-term parking and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, Yard Chronicles, Lockdown Legends, Yard Talk, Behind the Walls, just throwing it out there. Yes, I like all of those. We are gonna start a new prison talk show. And we're gonna do that really soon. I'm gonna get with Russ this weekend. Stay tuned maybe for Sunday. No, I think I'm gonna take this Sunday off. I promised somebody that I would not look at the big red button all day Sunday. It's gonna be hard, but I do that does need to happen. Question, and I have more stories to get to too. Question, we're probably gonna go over today. Isn't freshwater scarce out in Cali with restrictions on watering your own lawn and stuff? Yeah, but it is. And we are in a drought in Cali. And I say we, I don't live there anymore. I live in Montana, where there is no water shortages and or the politics. Stevie's brother used to live in Montana, and actually the town I live in, and I think he was a bartender. I think he was going to the Montana University or U of M or MSU. So that's, anyway. The isn't freshwater. Yeah, it is scarce out there, and I don't know why. And you know what's crazy? So there's these big aqueducts that come from the mountains and come from up north, and it pretty much provides water for the entire state. And those are all empty. That's where, like, there's huge homeless camps in those aqueducts where usually there would be water. They call it the LA River, but usually there'd be water running through there, and there's not. So that, like, people live down there. And that's where it's like under the freeways. It just runs through down the whole country or state. But yeah, there is a water shortage. But what I wanted to say was that I did just see something where it was either Trump or it was his press secretary. What's her name again? Caroline Levitt, which I'm a super fan of. What I've seen so far of her, she's crazy. Do you know she ran for governor of her state? Anyways, that I guess those aquifers are getting filled. Like there was something else going on. Like I guess all the fire hydrants are filled now again to put out fires, and that water is running freely. I don't know about if it's running in the aqueducts, but like somebody said, like, look, it was as easy as the flip of a switch. Why did that not happen? And that's on Gavin Newsom, right? Gruesome Newsom. Yeah, I said it. He's gruesome and he's Newsom. He's terrible. You know, this guy, we're going to go over here and make these things happen with the slick back hair like mine now. I kind of have a gruesome Newsom haircut, don't I? Sweet. But yeah, like it's on him, man. Screw all the local stuff. It's on him. Like the mayor of LA. I don't know enough about her to speak on her, or the fire marshal. How is it their fault? There was no water in it. Not that they could have prevented it. I'm not saying that, but they could have saved houses. I believe that. I believe that. But as we talked about yesterday, was that all to burn down evidence? I doubt it. But I think if I was to come up with my own conspiracy of why those houses got burnt down, I think they just wanted to rebuild LA. And or if I'm a super conspiratorial thinker, I could say it's the right burning down LA so they could where was my thought? Oh, so people could get upset at all the government things you have to jump through, all the red tape that you have to get to even get a permit to lay a foundation. Does it go to? Are we trying to make the government smaller, burn down LA to prove that there's too much? What do they call it? Bureaucracy. Can't say that word this morning. To even get a permit to build? I don't know. They want to put a spotlight on that. Why don't you just come out and say, hey, I'm going to put a spotlight on this and it needs to change, right? So I don't know. Galen says, I already did that one. Aunt Lindy. Oh, moved too fast. Bill Herrera, I wish Elon would buy the big red button. Okay. Stay on that one. Aunt Lindy. Question. Can I get my wrench now? Yes. Absolutely. And we emailed each other. So I totally remember. I need to where's Aunt Lindy? 1 second, guys. Aunt Lindy, will you throw up hey Wolfie, if you will you email me and we can have a chat beforehand? That would be great. And then I want everyone I want to get together and have a call with James Collins Cares. I need to talk to him because I'm super new at the mod thing, and I do believe a mod can make or break. And so I just want to make sure I talk to everybody in person before I just hand them out. I would love just to hand out 40 wrenches, but I didn't know it was that serious of a thing. I really didn't. 1 second, Aunt Lindy. Justine, question. Have you thought of getting rid of the After the Bars title of the show since you don't have a fellow After the Bars co-host unless you bring on Russ? No. Because it's still me. I've been to prison. But no, I'm not gonna lie. I have thought about changing the name. I can't. But not because of that. What was I think I was going to change it to possibly, no, not Morning Mayhem. What was I going to change? I did have another name. I can't remember now. Shite. I did think about just for a millisecond. Because as you can see, I changed the banner for the channel, and I changed a bunch of thumbnails. Justine, and yeah, and so at that for that millisecond, I was thinking of just changing the name, because I am going to have a lot more different content with I wanted the name to include my documentaries that I'm going to be publishing. Yeah, and I came up with it. Had my ex-co-host come up with it, I might have. But I will say this, I came up with it, showed it to him, and he was like, hell yeah. And then I was like, no, maybe we should do this one. He's like, no, I love this one. And so we just agreed on that one. So I had changed my mind on it, but I just went with it. Anyways, no, I haven't thought of that. Do you think I should? And if you do, please let me know why. Put it in a comment. I would love to know why. Also, I hope everyone's hitting the like button. That really helps the algorithm for the replay. I would really love a lot of people to catch the replay. That would be great. And if you guys could replay it also, maybe in the background. No, we don't need to do that. We already have enough hours to accomplish what we're doing. That would just be greedy of me to like, hey, we guys please replay everything so I get more views. No, don't do that. I want unique new viewers along with you guys. Absolutely. Where do we go? Ian says, no, love the name. It's yours regardless. Yes. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. I don't know if she was saying I should, or I think she was just asking, do I think I should? Comment, After Bar covers a lot of ground in the title, but if that was your vision before then is divinely inspired. Absolutely correct. My hand to God, my vision of the morning show was exactly what it was. I did want to co-host, and I thought it was God just bringing us together. I talked about that. I wanted a co-host, and I was like, perfect co-host for the morning show. He brought it up also, and it was just it was perfect. And we're at today where we're at because that's the way it was supposed to be, you know. And then if succeed or fail, that's what it's supposed to be. And after the show last night, I really had an epiphany, or seen the light last night, so to speak. After the show, I just really felt like, ooh, like I just really felt like, who was that guy? That's not the guy who walks around town. I mean, not that it was like totally bad. I'm just saying it just like, yeah, I don't need to question things. I don't need to about myself, you know, like there's a thing called what is it? It's something about being a fraud. I talked about it in my manipulation letter, you know, like you know, you think you're a fraud. It's an addict thing. It's an addict thing. Thank you, Galen, so much. I really appreciate that. Hey, Sam, can you put your email in the chat? Yes. Yes, it will be in the chat. But it is insidethemindx@gmail.com. Thanks. Okay, we're just going to start with Bill. These last three are all from Bill. Bill, hey, same in certain parts of San Francisco. Open air drug markets look worse than 5th season of Walking Dead. Yes, they do. It's even worse because they're walking amongst feces and urine, and it's terrible, man. I was on by the big red button. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Comment: Newsom is a slick carpetbagger for sure. He helped ruin my boyhood state. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I'm trying to think of who the governor was before that, but it's not even important for today's conversation. I'm going to get to, before I talk about, well, no, I'll just get to do this and then we'll finish the show with the stories I have. Do I think, I wish Elon would buy the big red button. I do too. I really do, but he can't run it like he runs Twitter. He can't have that kind of free speech on the red button, because, and this is why, and everyone knows my stance on free speech, because it's everything goes on Twitter, right? I don't know if anyone's been over to X lately. I'm sorry, X. If anyone's been over to X lately, you can see an unaliving, like with all the ugliness, people, there's so much there, and I'm not gonna lie, I was hooked on it for a millisecond. I would wake up and I would go to Twitter and I would just check my page, my Legal Livewire page, and then I would get lost in those videos. And my wife finally says, like, "Are you starting your day with that? Why are you starting your day with that?" I did it for like, I don't know, a week, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like watching a car crash. Like you just can't not look. And there was everything from people getting robbed, and it was all like footage from cameras. And I saw one of a girlfriend unaliving her boyfriend in a kitchen. It was just, it was nuts, man. So it can't be like that. It can't. I'm sorry, I froze up there. It just can't. Yeah, you could put warnings, like, hey, warning, this material is not suited for all viewers. And then, but all it is a click. My daughter can click on accident. She could click that, and there's no way. She can't even accidentally see that. And she watches a lot of kids stuff on YouTube. There is no really kids stuff on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Or really even teenage stuff on Twitter. It's not a TikTok. It's Twitter's its own animal. So yes, I do think he should buy it, but no, he couldn't run it. But he knows that. He couldn't run it like he does Twitter. And so that's all I got to say about that. Comment: Newsom did news conference, slipped and said the fires we set. I've seen it numerous channels. Why no investigation? I seen that also. Man. Was there Freudian slip? I don't know. I'm not going to say what it was, but I did a Freudian slip the other day. Well, I mean, it could be construed as a Freudian slip. But it wasn't, what I said wasn't what it was. I just misspoke. I mean, so much more. I didn't want to bring attention to it. So I guess what I'm getting at is that, yeah, yeah, man, probably, right? Probably. He probably did. That's all we can say. Remember, Sam, when I first started watching After the Bars, you were quite shy, but you have become so confident, so you should be proud of yourself. Hey, thanks, Pam. Yeah, this is more my normal self. Like how I talk to people when they come into the shop. A lot of other tattoo artists, after they, we work together in a shop, will always come to me and say, like, man, your bedside manner is second to none. Like the way you make your customers laugh and you ease their nervousness. And like during the tattoo, I have everyone we're all laughing and having fun. Yeah, that's how I am. And Steve could probably tell you, my friend from high school, that's how we were. I don't know if he's still like that. I mean, basically it just says I've never grown up. I've gotten more mature, but I've never really grown up. I'm thinking of these little inside jokes that Steve and I used to have when we were teenagers, and they were funny. And I still think those are funny. Like I have this weird little like second language thing. And I'll just do it. And he'll laugh at this. Me and him used to say that with this other guy named Steve. I'll say Steve L. And he was a guitar player, probably the best guitar player I've ever known, seen. I know everyone says that about their friends that are guitar players, but this guy was for real the best, I think, hands down. But yeah, we would always go, and Steve L came up with that, and we like learned it, and it was like this funny thing. And so we had like those little things that were just, kid stuff. I mean, we were probably in our late teens, early 20s when we were doing it, but it used to make us laugh. And yeah. So yeah, I just got comfortable enough in front of the camera, I guess. And you can watch my old lives from my other channel. And I kind of loosen up a little bit, but I'm talking about court stuff, about court hearings. And a lot of the viewers from the very beginning said, hey, this stuff's serious. So I kind of toned it down a little bit because some of it was serious. I wasn't making jokes of chomos and things like that. That stuff's serious. But just like Karens and things like that. I don't know. People have a lot to say to creators. I never knew that until I created, right? They have a lot to say, and it used to hurt my feelings. And I would change things when people would ask, hey, I don't like you asking for subscribers in the middle of your video, so I stopped doing that. Hey, I don't like that little icon down in the corner that has your channel name, because when I click it, it says I'm supposed to subscribe. I didn't change that, but people commented on it, right? I was like, so eventually I learned as a creator, like I got to stop with trying to like, oh, I need to make this, I don't want to lose this subscriber. I need to make that person happy. It's almost the same with the situation that's going on now. Like I don't want to, there's so many different creators, viewers, because of people that I'm associated with. We're all kind of meshed in here to one world. But I decided, a week, or I don't know, has it been 2 weeks now, that I'm just going to do me, and this will be my channel, and I'll do me, and the people that support others. I'm not going to be out here bashing on anyone until it needs to be bashed on. There, that's what I'm going to say. I will stand on something if and bring a topic up if it needs to happen. So anyway, about other creators, right? I mean, there's whole channels and niches that are dedicated to commenting on other creators. It's not going to be that, but I'm not going to say it's against the rules to comment on other creators. If it's true, because facts ain't defamation. Oh, look at that. He still talks to Steve L. When with my first wife, AV Stevie, we stopped and saw him in 29 Palms, I think they were living at, and not to dox him or anything, but and then we all had dinner, we had a little barbecue, and then we left, and I tried to stay in touch with him, and he would never return my texts or calls. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if something happened. He did leave a cassette tape of he was in some band in Texas. They were like a country rock band. It was all just him just doing solos, right? Those arpeggiatic triad solos he does. And yeah, he just never returned anything. So I just thought it was weird. But I hope he's doing well. And if you ever do talk to him, tell him I said hi, and maybe tell him what I just said. And maybe he could fill you in, and we could mend a bridge. That would be dope. That would be so cool to mend that bridge. If the bridge needs mending, I don't know. We're all old guys now, so yeah. Jed Newsom did news conference. Oh, I already did that. Okay, here we go. Here's some stuff. Oh, wait, let me follow up with Anna Banana first. Follow up to my comment in case it got missed. I believe we should be aware of people's needs around the world and try to help as much as we can financially, not just here. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yes. So, and I don't want to backtrack on what I was saying. I think I just left that out, right? Yeah, feeding the poor, absolutely. What else is there? Vaccinations, if they're real. I don't have I've been completely vaccinated with all the vaccinations, so I don't have anything to say against vaccinations. I'm not a anti-vaxxer. So yeah, for those things, yes. What I'm talking about, but we should feed the poor here first, right? Or simultaneously, at least. At the very least, simultaneously. And then the rest of the world. Because we won't be able to sustain helping feed the rest of the world if we're not okay. What the money I'm talking about that goes to the rest of the world are those, and these are true, and these aren't, and I'm just gonna like paraphrase each situation, like sending money for an Iranian Sesame Street, right? And if I have the countries wrong, correct me. Or doing a DEI play in Mumbai or Dubai or wherever it was, right? Those kind of things. Condoms somewhere. I mean, millions and millions of dollars for these things. And it's not what it was. There was pork attached to those, and that money was all being skimmed. Those countries didn't get it. Some fat cat got that, right? Or someone's niece, some congressman's niece is a director and went to direct a play in Iran, and that got funded through whatever. These are all things I just hear in passing. I'm not making this stuff up. Did the person who I heard it in passing make it up? And I mean, like here on YouTube and on the news, I don't know. I'm just saying, I absolutely think we should provide world aid, to the world. Absolutely. And I hope that's not, I'm not backtracking. I left that part out. But we need to take care of us first. I hope so. I hope that's, the right thing to do moving forward for our country. I think we need to overcorrect to get back to where we can help everybody. That's just my opinion, but I think we do need a heavy overcorrection and then start putting things in place again. And by that time, when we're able, hopefully this is the plan where we're able to start putting things back in place, we'll get someone that's more center. Or if we get someone on the left, they'll have a stockpile of money and credit to save the world. And then we'll have to overcorrect again. Anyways, I hope that answers that question or responded to the comment, at least where I'm coming from regarding that. Galen asks, have you ever done the dark web with Tor on your browser? It's horrific. I went to a TED talk at Microsoft and it scared me to death. I'm super interested in that TED talk. I wonder if they have it online. Could you please send me a link to that TED talk? I would love to see it. Yes, I'm super familiar with Tor and an Onion browser. I'm super familiar with the dark web. I stay off of it as much as possible. There's too much in the background that can happen with an Onion browser. It doesn't really protect you. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have it expanded. It has to be like most people have it expanded, and then all this all the security goes out the window. Just your window is maximized. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Yeah, scary. Please send me the link if you can. Comment, we appreciate your true self. We see the difference. Weight lifted off your shoulders, in my opinion. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, weight lifted for sure. Question, what's your preferred tattoo machine? Jean Paul, I use the Flux. I'm about to, it's called the FK Irons Flux. They're about $1,200, something like that. I have a couple of them. The machine itself isn't that, but with the battery, it's about $1,200. The battery is actually just as much as the machine. All the technology for those mostly is in the battery. You can program it. It's called the flex setting, where you can program how hard that the needle hits your skin. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It does a lot of stuff, you know, and it can work with a Bluetooth pedal and yeah, the Flux. But you know, I heard, you know, I have a lot of friends that use the Bishop wand. I think that's the next machine I get if I ever even buy another machine. Would be the Bishop wand. But you know, I'm retiring. Friends and family. I'm not going to be doing too much. Just friends and family. Although I'm going to do a cool tattoo tomorrow. I'm super excited about it. And I need the money. I need the money. Yes, sir. Jamie Palmer. Hey, brother. Or sister. My brother's name is Jamie Palmer. I've really started looking into buying local when I can to help my fellow West Virginians. That's crazy. My brother lives in Virginia, whose name is Jamie Palmer. Yeah, we try to, when we buy vegetables, when it's in season, we try to go to the farmer's market here. I love it. I think it's awesome. And they just taste so much better. When people used to say that, man, hey, how could that have? It's vegetables a vegetable. No, they taste better. The farm fresh eggs from locally, like the yolks are just more rich. Yeah, it's awesome. Yes. Can you show us some stuff with Judge Stephanie Boyd another time? Yes. Yes, I have lots of good stuff with Stephanie Boyd. We'll start doing presenting some judge stuff, I think, on Tuesday. I want to start monitoring Fleischer because he's not streaming anymore to YouTube. So yeah, I will do that. I will make a note of that right now. And then I'm going to finish the rest of the stuff I have. She's awesome, right? I just seen a recent hearing of hers that just went super viral. Super viral. I wish it would have went viral on mine. I do. One of my competitors, I always watch his stuff that goes like kind of viral. I seen his a viral video he did, and I looked to see what he got paid for it. For I think it was a million, 1.2 million views. He got almost $52,000 for that one video. That is crazy. That is so crazy. Can you stream doing tats? Woofy, I will ask my client tomorrow and I will stream tomorrow. How about that? I have done that in the past. I did it on Facebook. I'm streaming today live on Facebook also for the first time for the show. I would do that tomorrow. Why not? I'm sure she'll be down for it. Yeah, we'll have fun. And you guys will get to see the space I'm moving out of. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. I will do that. Yeah, so tomorrow around 4:00, I will stream from the tattoo shop. The thing is, I won't be able to participate in the comment section, obviously. But yeah, that'll be fun. Cool. Thanks for the question and suggestion. Okay, let's get to what I have left. What do I have left? Did you guys know that Oh yeah, and I can't forget our funny animal videos at the end. Did you guys know that? What's his name? I have it on here. What's his name from Alex Jones? Alex Jones. Did you guys know that Alex Jones he talked about planes hitting the World Trade Center a month before it happened? And basically he was saying that reach out to your government and stop this before it happens. Those were his exact words. This was a month before. Well, anyways, I didn't know that, and so I wanna show that. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know that, but let's just watch that for a second.
Gentlemen, I'm so glad that you could join us today for this Wednesday, July 25th, 2001 broadcast. If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, and sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the boogeyman they need in this Orwellian phony system. After you research all the government terrorism and check out what I'm saying is true, call the White House and tell them, we know the government's planning terrorism. We know Oklahoma City and World Trade Center was terrorism. We know the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up airliners, Baltimore Sun. If you do it, we're going to blame you because we know who's up to it. Or if you let some terrorist group do it, like the World Trade Center, we know who to blame. And you could save the planet.
I find that remarkable, right? I think what Alex Jones talked about with Sandy Hook, I think because of the false information, I think he should have went to prison for a little bit. Yeah. So I just want to say that first. I think he should have did a little bit of jail time for that. He hurt a lot of families by his speech. It's almost like going in there and terrorizing the families. Yeah, they could choose not to look at it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even if they chose not to look at it, their friends are going to see it and they're going to talk about it. Other people are going to see it. And you know what I mean? They're going to talk about it and talk about it with them. It's just too much. I think it's re-victimizing those families. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's IMO, in my opinion. Now, him saying that before, he had to have had some, he researches, he does deep dives. He's a smart guy. He deep dives stuff, but he says things for effect, right? To get people to watch, for clicks. This is before clicks, but we're going to call it clicks. For listens on the radio, for views on his TV show. He would say outlandish, untrue things. He would lie. But he did deep dive stuff. So we have to ask ourselves, is this information that he's providing on his show, that specific information, did some shadow government agent give him that to say so it could be noticed after the event? Who knows, right? Or is he just a smart guy and came up with that on his own, put those specific pieces together to say that possibly could happen? Then he said, save the planet. Now he is grandiose, and the things that he says are super grandiose, right? But I don't think that's a grandiose statement. Saving the planet, to me, what I can infer from that is to save us from all the new laws and the terrorism and the one world government saying we need to be all together and be one world, because all the countries are enmeshed with travel and things like that, right? So we need to have, like, my ID right now, I don't need a passport anymore. I can show my ID at the airport and get into any country that will allow an ex-felon. That's crazy to me. And thank God, because someone broke into our house and stole our safe that had my passport, all our birth certificates, the titles to the trucks, everything, right? So thank God I have that real ID in case I need to do some travel. But you know, I think that's all part of that. There was so much more to that. So did the government let it happen? I don't know. You know, the building that fell later, that it, you know, imploded, the building, I can't remember the number of the building, you know, the way the building came down, all those like little pre-explosions, you know, I think that's just the dust being pushed down. That's my thought on it. I don't think there was explosives in that building. I think that's just the dust being pushed down, you know, coming out and looking like that. I don't know if they've tried to recreate that. How could they recreate it? You know, they could use the AI probably now to recreate it somehow, you know, I don't know. But I wonder if there have been models to try to recreate that. Anyway, I don't want to get into a big 9/11 conspiracy talk. Wait, well, no, I guess I do, because I presented the video. I guess debate. How about that? I just wanted to show that and be like, what the F, man? That's crazy, right? It's crazy. Yeah, okay, what else do I got? Yeah, so I guess there's this okay, Barclay's boss. So okay, you guys remember how I was like going, yeah, StreamYard has these new scenes that it's hard to figure out. Well, I figured it out, right? I figured it out. So before the show, instead of just having all my content down here, which it is still, I can make these scenes with the content and I can go, you know, this story, that story, this story. So it is kind of cool. It's a lot more show prep, but that's okay, right? I'm trying to be the best show we can. I try to put as much time into the show as I can, so it's better for you guys, and then therefore better for me, because I get so much out of you guys being here. I really do. It's awesome. So this
the guy, the fat dude in the bicycle suit, ripping those pieces.
So this guy, this went viral. This is a while ago, right? But of course, I'm just catching up. You know, just catching up with this. So Bill Burr and Joe Rogan talk about this guy. I guess this guy who was a left-wing radical guy, I guess, or something. Or no, I think he was an officer. He was a cop. And this is during the George Floyd stuff. And these girls were putting up these things for officers. That's what it was. So I don't know if this guy was an officer or not. They say something like that made me think that. But they're putting up these things like a memorial for the officer, I think. But they're just teenage girls, like young teenage. There's no way they can be more than 13 or 14. And this guy on a bike, this old guy, big guy, way bigger than these girls, like comes out and he tries to take their he's on a 10 speed, tries to take their flyers, and he's really aggressive. And this mom or someone gets involved, like, you know, keep your hands off her. Well, this is Bill Burr and Joe Rogan talking about that, what they would do to someone like this. And as a father of daughters, I am right there with him. I'm right there with him. My wife and I can testify to that. I play this tape forward all the time, and I shouldn't, because it gets me out of my square. You know what I mean? Meaning like the compassion, love for thy neighbor square. No matter what they do, pray for your enemies square. It takes me out of that square, and I just want you guys to watch this.
This is a paper out of those girls' hands.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
That guy, that is the result, I think, of watching one of those channels 24/7 and then going on Facebook and writing in capital letters.
Could you imagine if you were there watching that guy rip pieces of paper out of a little girl's hand like that he didn't even know, yelling at her, running up to her where the mother is yelling, "You stop touching her. Get your hands off her."
That was the mom? I thought that was her friend.
Whoever that was. It sounded like a woman. It sounded like a woman yelling because it was a little girl.
He was doing everything but growling.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point of like, what is in your head that you're trying to defend? Like, what? That's a guy, but then everybody vilifies the guy, which I would rather sit down and talk to that guy and be like, let me ask you this. When you watch that, you know, Floyd video, like, what is it that you see? Because just yelling at somebody, canceling him and making him lose his fucking job, you're just going to make the guy even more angry. And he probably has grandkids that he's going to fill their head before he dies.
So what's the solution? Sit down and talk to him?
I'm sorry you don't have that video.
Like, buddy,
I dropped the ball
let's
on
just
that.
sit down for a second. You were on a bicycle. You wanted to burn some calories. You're obviously into it by the way you're dressed. Okay? You're enjoying America's great parks.
Right.
You come across these kids. You know, do you like kids? Have you ever attacked a kid before? They're just putting a piece of paper up with the point of view. Like, what do you think led up to that level of a response? Because I have to be honest, like, we've all fucking snapped and done shit. I would like to think I have. And afterwards, I'd be like, what the fuck? Why did I argue that? Why did I say that? Why did I do that? And the only way to kind of prevent from you being a fucking asshole again is you have to kind of walk back and look at it.
Right.
So going at the guy, which I totally understand, because it was so bad it was almost comical, because he was borderline growling at them. And it's
you know,
do not touch her, sir.
Leave her alone. Sarah, just walk away.
Walk away.
Hey!
Hey, get off of her.
The people with her yell at him to stop, but he doesn't.
Really bad. He didn't even get the paper from the girl. He grabs the girl. The girl clenched her fist down and held onto the paper.
My favorite part was the sound of the bottom of his shoes that clip into the pedals.
Here we go. I got it. Let's hopefully it comes up. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Bam. Here we go. Okay, let's watch this video, guys.
Hundreds of tips from people who had seen a video of the encounter. A cyclist on a Maryland trail who was captured on video roughly grabbing a young woman while she posted flyers against police brutality was arrested and charged Friday with 3 counts of second-degree assault, the police said. The police said that Mr. Brennan was biking along the Capitol Crescent Trail near Washington on Monday at about 12:45 p.m. when he came upon 3 young people who were hanging flyers. 2 of them were 19 and 1 was 18. The flyers, described as a call for community action, read, "The man was lynched by the police."
Tell the chat what would happen
do about it
if someone did that to
According
Hazley.
Captain Jeffrey Coe, a spokesman for the Maryland National Capital Park Police. After the police obtained an arrest warrant, Mr. Brennan turned himself into detectives on Friday evening. Each count of second-degree assault carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. I am sick with remorse for the pain and...
Anyways, that's it.
You sound like a little show pony.
Yeah, I was hoping there would have been sound or, to the actual video, but yeah, you guys kind of heard it. How crazy is that? I would be in an orange jumpsuit. Joe Rogan says the same thing. I'd be in an orange jumpsuit. And, because I would see red, and no matter how big, tough the guy would, I would. It would be like the old Roman tide. It would be a battle to the death if they could fight me back. Do you know what I mean? You would never touch my daughter like that. No way, Jose. And if I wasn't there, well, he wouldn't do it if I was there, right? But if I wasn't there, I don't know, man. I don't know. Seeing someone grab her wrist, like, oh my gosh. Yep, I just I would lose it. But yeah, listen to these guys. It's pretty funny.
He was trying to growl like a tiger, and he sounded like My Pretty Pony, like somebody should have been combing his hair. So, and I was sitting there going, look at this crazy old guy. And
okay, but
I don't know I didn't think how old I thought he was, but then he was like 60. I was like, this guy's like only 8 years older than me. So he graduated high school like 8 years before me. So like, this guy is almost part of my generation. Like, what experiences did he have that he looks at this whole thing like, I mean, I'm not of that thing saying all cops are like those guys. It's like, no, it's like you have to get those guys off of the force. That's what I think. So,
okay, that's why I thought he was an officer.
I just don't understand, like, and that was, from my understanding, what they were putting up there was specific to the Minneapolis case. Yeah. So my thing is, as a human being, how could you have issue with somebody trying to put something up, honoring that guy or something positive about that? Like, that's what I was confused.
I don't know what she put up. I'm not sure what she put up. It was definitely about the George Floyd protest. Maybe
see, that's a great point. I couldn't see what was written on the paper, and I filled that in when I watched it. But I really couldn't get over the sound of his shoes, though. That was really fucking funny. And when he started walking faster with the bike, it was almost like a great movie trailer for a horror film.
What?
Yeah.
No?
But could you
the
imagine
60-year-old fat bike rider?
Imagine that was your...
Because, that's so funny, too, because Joe Rogan didn't laugh at it. Bill's just like saying, what? No, what? No? That's not funny? I thought that was funny.
Daughter.
So I
imagine if your daughter, you're sitting there and that guy runs up to your daughter and he's grabbing the paper out of her hand. He's running at her, grabbing the paper out of while a woman's screaming at him to not touch her. Don't you touch her.
Yeah, I mean.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one response as a father.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like murder.
No? What do you like?
Maim. I want him to remember that he did it.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's another level.
Start with a blown out ACL, and you go from there.
Yeah.
Beat him with his stupid shoe. Why do people wear? I actually had to look up why people wore those shoes.
They clip in.
I know they do, but I'm like, what is the advantage of that?
Is there an advantage? It's hard.
I think it's when you're coming up this way. You can still pull with your leg, so you're getting more of an efficient
that makes
motion.
Sense.
This guy's really into biking and not putting paper on trees. Don't put their dead relatives in their faces.
Just a man that would run up to a little girl like that and grab paper out of her hand. There he is.
Click, 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 click.
That's before he grabs her, Jamie. Yeah, back it up from the beginning, because this.
Now, as far as you with your martial art background, you got to be impressed with the way he's using his bike there.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's a beast.
He's sort of like trying to be a little herd.
Take that guy out in 1,000 ways.
What does it say? See right there.
Leg thing, whatever. You can do it a million different ways. Anyways,
a bicycle was caught on video earlier attacking teenagers who were posting flyers. Is that a teenager? It's a little girl. Is that really a teenager? With a big old fucking orange jumpsuit on, if that was happening to my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Same.
A real problem. If I caught someone doing that,
you would be like a fucking badger on that fucking. Just your biggest problem would be, what do I use?
Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. I told you we're gonna need a palate cleanser today, and don't worry, I got some stuff lined up. Yeah, so I mean that's nuts, and I think Bill Burr was asking the right question, right? Like, what? Sorry, that's my daughter gave me that tattoo. She found a bunch of temporary tattoos. When kids come into the shop, I have temporary tattoos I can do for the kids. It's really cool. Like I can do like big, long, like almost entire sleeves for the kids. They're super cool. But the parents will call me or text me later like, hey, when does this thing come off? They stay for a long time, like through showers and baths. Anyway, so now I tell them beforehand so they don't get too mad. So like what brings a guy to the point where in his head he's so angry that he feels he needs to do that? I think that's what Bill Burr was getting at. Like, what is it like with social media? Like, how much negative stuff do you have to watch to think that it's okay that you're doing that to a little girl? Like, what is going through your mind? What are you stopping, I guess? What do you think you're preventing when you do something like that? I don't know. I have a channel from like it's called Inside the Mind. I haven't made any content for it, but that's the kind of stuff that's going to go on that channel. Is what takes us, where are our minds going with things? What, like, I want to talk to like addicts, like, and criminals like myself. Like, at what point in our head growing up did we decide like, okay, it's okay to write this bad check? I think it's okay. What was going on in our lives? And more importantly, what was going on in our minds? What was going on in our minds to think that that's okay? It's something as little as, I mean, it's still, it can be a felony. Depends on how many bad checks you write. But I'm interested in that. And so, yeah, I do have a channel that's going to do that. Who knows when that's going to happen? Maybe a year from now. I don't know. It just depends. Yeah, hopefully we can make that content because I'm interested in that. And I think other people are too. Like, it's true crime, but it's inside the mind of the crime. What led to that? You know, a lot of people say, you know, like, oh, my mom beat me, or my dad, you know, didn't play catch with me, or, you know, none of it is an excuse for the crime. Never going to say that. Ever, ever, ever. I don't care if someone was ritualistically abused for 10 years, God forbid, and then they come out and ritualistically abused a bunch of people in an attic in Cleveland, Ohio for 8 years, or however long that was, right? The Castro guy, or whatever his name was. That's still not an excuse, but I'm just interested in that. What's going on into that dude's mind to think that it's okay to do that? I think a lot of it is social media, right? I think a lot of it is social media, and it's not social media's fault. I think there's just so much stuff, so much content for people to absorb that it'll change your mood. That's why we need to come from kumbaya, right? From righteousness, and not in like a religious sort of way, but because I don't want to keep saying come from a place of love. You guys know that's where we're at. We want to come from love. And please, someone check me if it ever seems like I'm not, so I can pray on that, right? I was told today my behavior wasn't coming from a place of love. Okay, yeah, I agree. Hopefully I agree, you know? So yeah. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. Looks like we have some more questions and comments. I'm going to get to those. I think that's everything I had to talk about. It is. So I just want to finish the show with some comments and questions, and then we'll get to the palate cleanser, the saltine cracker before we take our next sip of wine. Ooh, I'm gonna have to change that. We're a sobriety show. You know what I mean. As an example, I corrected myself because of the emails I'll get, right? Okay. Jackie's just a Newsom did a news conference slip. Yep, we did that. Of course, have you ever done that in dark web? Yes. For tattoo machine? Yes. So stuff with Judge Stephanie Boyd. Yes, I will. Comment. We have a business called Tamarack. They sell a lot of products from local artisans and vendors. West Virginia maple syrup tastes better than Vermont maple syrup. I also got elderberry apple jelly. Ooh, I love apple jelly. Love apple jelly. One of my earliest memories as a kid is making apple jelly in school. We all made our own little jar of apple jelly, and we took it home, and I was so proud of myself. I was so happy to bring that apple jelly home, and ever since then, I love apple jelly. And we're talking about like the dark brown stuff, right? That's apple jelly. That's almost like a preserve, but it's not. It's not like a gelatin jelly. Love it. Jamie Palmer. Comment, Sam, I heard through the grapevine from one of my mom's coworkers who had a BF who worked for the government who said something big was coming soon. This was a couple of months before 9/11. Soon. This was a couple of months before 9/11. Oh, I see what you're saying. Not big coming soon now. This is information then. Wow. I wish more of those people would come forward. That way, the conspiracies can be validated a little bit. You know what I mean? But I think to really validate like planes hitting the World Trade Center, that it would have to it would have to be something more than something big's coming, you know. Now, if it was something big's coming soon, but I really can't talk about it, that's a little different, right? Then something big's coming soon. Like, man, all the talk is like something big's going to happen. Just like me thinking the rapture is going to happen. Man, something big's going to happen soon. You know, I could be sitting here right now and I could just disappear, or all you guys could just disappear and I would be still sitting here. That would be a very sad day. But I knew I could still go. I just have to live through all the events that happened afterwards. Anyway, I know that's a lot for people to grasp. The rapture is, it's still hard for me to understand. I'm just going to go with blind faith on the rapture. Hello, I am a new subscriber and I very much enjoy your commentary. Thank you so much. So much. Is that Maritursa? Maritursa? That's a beautiful name, by the way. Mary Teresa. Oh, Mary Teresa. I love that. Cool. Well, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. That is enough. I love that you're here and that you enjoy the commentary. I hope it doesn't get old. I really don't. Yes, sir. All right, guys. I think that brings us to the end. We went over a little bit. Show went by fast still today. We went over 22 minutes. Like I said, when we first started the show, I know I said it. Sometimes it could go an hour. We want to do at least 2 hours. It could go 3 hours. If we're watching Karen Reed, if something big's happening in another trial, say if it was the Alex Murdaugh trial, we would be going probably 12 hours a day. So yeah, let's hope for something big like that. I would love to do that. Let me just get to the cleanser. Oh, Woofy, make sure you send me an email. And so we can all talk about the wrench. And where is Aunt Lindy? I told her to send me a thing. Let me see if I can find it. See it? Can managing... Here we go. Never mind. There you go, Aunt Lindy. Thank you so much for helping. I really appreciate it. Well, if you send me an email, I would appreciate that. And yeah, I'm not going to forget today, Anna Banana. We need it today, right? I mean, it wasn't too bad, but I hope everyone enjoyed it. Let me get to the... Are you serious? I lost my funny video. Don't worry, that's what the back button is for. I don't know how long we're going to watch this funny video. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to sign off. After this video, I am just going to play the outro. And I truly love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. All the new members, all the super chats. It's greatly appreciated. We're going to end with this and then the outro. I love you guys. Have a wonderful Friday. Have an awesome weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Let's go, Lucy.
My cat just did that. Kitty. Wow, that almost looked fake. You guys know the cats when they freak out on pickles or cucumbers? Our cat won't do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, no, these are funny videos, not hurtful videos. Sometimes I worry. Gross. Wow. A ferret? Whoa.
Katy, ¿qué te pasó?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kitty butt stunk. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.